A short agenda and more behind the closed doors meetings and discussions. What's going on? I'm Bunker Bob. This is the Bunker Bob Show. Well, and a good Tuesday morning to you, or Tuesday afternoon. It's noon, and thank you for being with me today. It's great to be back, and I hope that you had a great 4th of July and that you've gotten all of the pyrotechnics out of your system by now. I know that there's a lot of people who are a little bit tired of the fireworks and are ready for it to be over. I can tell you that I have one dog that is one of those. So I hope you had a great time. I know that we did. And today on the show is not a long show, primarily because there's not a long agenda going on for the city council meeting tonight, and that meeting is scheduled with very little to talk about. So that's kind of what I'm going to highlight really quickly for you, and I guess we will find out more tomorrow. The first thing that I think is notable on the agenda, I think there's really just 3 agenda items and then an executive session, but the 2 agenda items that are would be of any interest to most of us would be first would be the sanitation services, CWD. The city council is working to basically get out of its contract with CWD and is working to create an era of disharmony among citizens and trying to get citizens to come out and say how much they hate CWD. That's politics, if you will. And I don't really know all of the details about why and what is going on. That with the sanitation service, why it's in the eyes of some of the members of city council, why it's a bad thing. But I suspect that tonight there are some ringers that have got their scripts ready, that have been written for them, and they will be speaking as typical puppets that come before city council often do, of the left. And so again, this whole issue of CWD is confusing to me. I was not on city council when CWD was chosen. I did, however, create a city survey that I asked questions specifically about the current service. I think it was Progressive Waste that was being used at the time, and overall the satisfaction was very high. However, city council moved to a different company. Of course, we know, if you've been watching this show, you know that Adrian Balcom did a lot of investigation to find out why the city was not receiving money, the portion of the money from that sanitation service contract that it was supposed to, and it was largely because there's a lot of people that were receiving service that weren't paying for it. So of course they're going to be upset about that, and I'm sure that some of those who come out to speak tonight are going to be some of those. Hey, well, we didn't pay anything before, and I would love for someone to do that because it would prove the point. But that's a confusing issue for me, and I guess we'll have to wait and see how many people come out and talk about their anger or their frustration over what's going on with CWD. The other thing that is on the agenda has to do with the state-funded fire station, and this is something that I brought up last week, and or 2 weeks ago, I should say, or yeah, it was last week because we did 2 shows. I did 2 shows last week. Early in the week, the first show that I did, I focused on this issue of the state-funded fire station, that the city of McLennan-Chisholm is basically going to be receiving a new fire station paid for by the state of Texas, because the fire station that is currently on 205 will basically be eaten away by the expansion of 205. The question is, where is the new station going to be going? And as I have brought up on last week's show, all of these meetings, all of these discussions are being held behind closed doors, which, by the way, is a violation of the Texas Open Meetings Act. But no one cares. No one on the left cares when the left does it. Of course, I was accused of, when I was mayor, I was accused of doing that, of violating the Texas Open Meetings Act. The problem is I never did violate the Texas Open Meetings Act. Neither did the city council. That's why there was no evidence to be found. That's why no charges were ever brought, because we never did it. Here we have a situation where apparently information is out there that, have they made a decision? They haven't even discussed. They haven't even put on record. Here's where we are in the process of identifying where the next fire station is going to go. So that's the first thing. That and why is that important? I realize that after I'm talking about it, people are going to go, well, what is that? What does it matter? Who cares? Well, it matters because of who's going to benefit. Remember, folks, thanks to former Mayor Gary Moody and former Mayor Pro Tem Steve Hatfield, we have a city hall building that citizens had no say in. That cost $2.125 billion for a 5,000 square foot facility. Start there. But that citizens had no say in whether or not they wanted a new city hall and how much we wanted to spend on it. But remember, don't forget that when you had two members of city council who were absent on vacation, who had long planned absences, and had announced to the city council, hey, we're going to be gone. Those two members, by the way, just happened to be against the city council purchasing any more than an additional 3 acres over the 2 that was given to the city by a friendly developer. They didn't want to buy any more. But the rest of the city council, of course, they wanted to buy 10 more acres. They wanted a total of 15 acres. So they compromised. Remember that? They compromised. They said, okay, we'll settle to buy an additional 3 acres, which they did. And then months later, when these 2 members of city council were absent on vacation, they had announced that they'd be gone. On that agenda, they decided to vote, and they did. They voted in another 10 acres of land around the city hall. So we have 15 acres of land. So why is this important? Because we have 15 acres of land that we've already paid for. Where's the fire station going to go? Is it going to go on property that's currently owned by friendly developers? I don't know. Maybe, is it land that Altura owns? That'd be helpful to them, wouldn't it? Is it land that other developers own that are friendly to those who are in office? This is the problem, folks. See, no one is really asking these questions. No, these meetings are happening behind closed doors because they don't want us to know what's really going on. So now the staff is asking for permission to hire or to put a request for proposals for the architectural firms so that the new fire station can be designed. The problem that I have is fundamental. If you don't know where the location is, can you really move forward on design? Now I get that you can put you can build a structure and design it any way you want it and just put it wherever you want, but that's not necessarily true in a public service type of structure like this. You see, it could be on 205, which means the ingress and egress of fire trucks going in and out, that would have to be factored into the design of the structure. If it's at the city hall property, obviously, same thing. How does that fit into the overall design of that area? If it's somewhere on 205 or 550, that makes a difference. All of these things make a difference. So I'm just wondering when we're going to find out what the answer to that burning question is. Where is the new fire station going to be? That would be a really important thing to know, I think, before we hire an architecture firm. But that's just me. I'm kind of funny that way. Then we have finally the last thing on the agenda is a closed door meeting. It is to talk about the repeal that they repealed the sales tax exemption for the sale of telecommunication services. Now, this of course happened last council meeting, where the city of McLennan-Chisholm joined pretty much every other city in the state of Texas, practically, who's basically moving past the exemption that is automatic based upon the state legislature's decision. But basically, the city of McLennan-Chisholm receives no financial benefit from our cell phones, our phones, our telecommunications issues, or our telecommunication services that we use. Of course, we're taxed through the gills on these things already. The state, the county, every entity that you can imagine is taxing us. And but the city has not opened up those gates. They did 2 weeks ago. Now it seems that some are having some second thoughts about that, because obviously it's an increase in taxes. Well, it's interesting because, to me, what's interesting about this is that this question about the telecommunications issue was actually asked on the city survey. The same city survey that the current mayor and every member of the city council, all of them, unanimously think was a waste of time, think was unnecessary. So I wonder, are they going to see how people responded? Probably not, because they don't care what people think. They don't care what the majority of the people think. They don't care what you think or I think. They're going to do what they want regardless. This is a city council that is pretty much, in my opinion, has already gotten out of control. They're a do-nothing council. Let's start there. Their meeting is literally going to maybe take an hour tonight. I would be surprised if it took an hour. Let's put it that way. And are there issues going on? Yeah, you know what? We have a budget that we really need to be focusing on. Oh, that's right. They're going to do an all-day retreat on the budget. That's going to be next Monday. And don't worry, I will be paying close attention to that little so-called retreat. And we'll be bringing you that. I may be bringing you that live, depending on whether or not the city plans to broadcast it. And based upon their past history, the last two meetings have not been broadcast. Or excuse me, the meeting before last was broadcast, I think, in the middle of the meeting, and then last week they didn't broadcast it. So that's concerning to me, because again, I'm an open government guy. I don't like it when cities don't try to hide things and they're not transparent. So that's really a problem for me. But I will be there, and so you will be up to date, and you will know what's going on at City Hall, regardless of what takes place, and regardless if they've got their systems running or not. So I just hope that you will stay tuned, because next week we'll have more to share with you. Actually, Thursday I'll be coming back to you with a summary of the short council meeting. I suspect, based upon what I know, since this last portion of the agenda is in executive session behind closed doors, there's not a lot that I'm probably going to be able to report, except reminding you why these things are important and why we need to be paying attention and putting some pressure on our elected officials to bring transparency back to the city of McLennan-Chisholm. Boy, wouldn't that be refreshing. Well, I hope that you have a great day, and don't get too overheated. We are back in summer, obviously. So this is going to be, I would expect, a hot one. The humidity is outrageous, isn't it? But the good thing is we have plenty of water, and that's a blessing, and we never want to take for granted. So, by the way, I do want to let you know if you are a Trump supporter, as I am, and you would like a Trump Keep America Great sticker. For the first five people who email me asking for one of these, I will send you this. If you'll give me your address, I'll send you a free sticker for watching the show and being a subscriber. I appreciate you doing that. So be sure to do that, and I look forward to seeing you next. It would be Thursday, I guess. So have a great one.